Now, at this time, it's my honor to present our next two speakers, Congresswoman Judy Chu of California's 27th District, as well as the chair of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, and Congresswoman Grace Meng of New York's 6th District. They will help present this year's Beacon of Democracy posthumously to Secretary Mineta. They both have been tireless advocates for APIAVote and our local partners, and champions for the needs and concerns of APIs and communities across the country. Their leadership helped our communities gain important wins in Congress, and they have inspired new generations of young APIs to follow their lead into public service. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Representative Judy Chu and Representative Grace Meng.
Well, thank you so much, Christine. And on behalf of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, or CAPAC, I'm thrilled to join you for another wonderful year at Taste of Democracy. And I want to thank you, Christine, for your tireless leadership at APIAVote, for the long-standing partnership that we have had between your group and CAPAC in making sure that democracy is upheld, and especially for AAPIs. I do have to say, we will be having votes very soon, so actually we both ran here as soon as possible to get this done, but we will have to leave right afterwards. So thank you for accommodating us. Well, I am honored to present the Beacon of Democracy Award in tribute of my friend, the late Secretary Norm Mineta. He was a trailblazer who was instrumental in building the political ecosystem for the AAPI community. Norm served 10 terms in Congress, and he often told me the story how early on, as a Congress member, he asked the White House to set up a meeting with him and his fellow API members, but they stopped him by asking, well, what group are you with? Well, he didn't have a group, so he realized he had to form one. And that's when he co-founded CAPAC and became its very first chair. After that, they did get the meetings that they wanted, and they were able to have it with the White House. I now have the privilege of serving as CAPAC's current chair, and I'm so proud to tell you that since its founding and Norm's continual guidance, CAPAC has grown in power and influence. Today we have 21 AAPI members of Congress. This is our highest number in history. And with our associate members, who are those who may not be AAPI but have large numbers of AAPIs in their district, we have a total of 77 members of Congress that belong to CAPAC. Because of this, we have been able to pass historic legislation such as Grace Meng's COVID-19 hate crimes bill and Grace Meng's AAPI Smithsonian Museum study bill. But this wouldn't have happened without Norm's vision. And he didn't stop there. After founding CAPAC, he saw that there had to be a way of getting young AAPIs into public service, of building an AAPI public service pipeline in Washington, D.C. and throughout the nation. And so we founded APACS, which is playing such an incredible role in cultivating future AAPI leaders with internships and fellowships, and it lays the groundwork of leadership in so many of our national organizations. So it's thanks to Norm that we have the critical infrastructure in place to ensure that our future AAPI national leaders are there and that our voices, therefore, are being heard. And today, following in his footsteps, I'm so proud to lead CAPAC, where we have leveraged our community's power on Capitol Hill for the needs of AAPIs across the nation. Just in the past year, we've had many accomplishments. To address the scourge of anti-Asian hate that's impacted AAPIs nationwide, we've passed, of course, Grace Meng's COVID-19 Hate Crimes Act and her AAPI Museum study bill, got them both signed into law by President Biden. We pushed back against the racial profiling of Chinese scientists and ended the China Initiative, a Trump-era Department of Justice program that targeted Chinese researchers unfairly. And most recently, we fought to remove anti-Asian provisions that were in the CHIPS and Science Act that ensure that bolstering our nation's competitiveness would not come at the expense of civil rights of Asian Pacific Islanders. All these accomplishments happened because of the foundation built by Norm. KPAC was able to deliver these wins for APIs across the nation because our communities have a seat at the table as these decisions are being made. And that comes through the consistent civic engagement work in AAPI communities across the country, like all of you are doing with APIAVote year-round for decades, and our community is rapidly growing all across the nation. And talk about APIAVote, what about that victory in Georgia? So we, 6 of us members of Congress and Inspire PAC went down to Georgia this past Saturday, to rally the AAPI community, and it was just incredible to see the energy that was there, and I just had a good feeling about it. But you know what, that increase of the API vote wouldn't have happened without APIAVote, and so thank you for doing that, for making sure that voter registration takes place year-round. So I am so pleased to pay tribute to Secretary Norm Mineta and bestow him with this year's Beacon of Democracy Award, and I'm thrilled to be doing it alongside KPAC's first Vice Chair Representative Grace Meng, who was, by the way, last year's Beacon of Democracy recipient. So thank you again to Christine Chen and the entire APIAVote team for bringing us all together for this wonderful celebration tonight. And let me turn it over now to the incredible Grace Meng.